Welcome back to the Birdhouse and our training camp battles, week 4. And as always, to join me, Matt English at Matt English _FF. You can see I've got a new Twitter handle, X handle, Birdman FF there. Matt, how are we doing today? Hot one down there in Houston, huh?
Oh, man, yes, it's brutally hot. Getting temperatures over 100 degrees feels like every single day. Feels like 120 most of the time. But hey, you can survive down here. You can pretty much survive everywhere where there's not snow.
Yeah, I believe it.
Because I'm weak on the.
We had a wild evening. A storm blew through here super quick right after my kids' football practice last night, and by the time I got home, and I'm only 5 minutes away from the field, there was a whole tree limb came down in my backyard. A whole tree fell over in one of my other coaches' front yards. So he's working on that or getting that taken care of already this morning. But man, it was nasty. Anyway, it was in and out in 15, 20 minutes. Crazy stuff.
Well, at least it was quick.
Yes, at least it was quick. Speaking of quick, that is not what we're talking about with Keenan Allen. However, he did finally sign here with the Indianapolis Colts just in time to ruin everybody's fantasy fun with Josh Downs and Tyler Warren potentially. So now we've got a wide receiver room of Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and Keenan Allen coming into the fold. Now he worked with the Indy's offensive coordinator before, the name escapes me, but it was kind of expected that if he was going to sign, this was the place that he was going to go. So Matt, where are you at now on your Josh Downs shares? If you have, I don't know how many you may have or not, or your other
a couple of Downs, couple of Pierce
in Indianapolis. What are you thinking now? Are you going to make any moves now that this just happened? Are you picking him up?
No. I don't know. If I have the roster spot, I mean, maybe just to see what happens in a best ball format. Probably not going to pick him up in a
best
lineup.
Ball, yeah. Lineup, please.
Really, this it sucks. It just sucks, man. Because Keenan, dude, he's old. He's banged up. He gets hurt all the time. And I hate to say it, but I hope there's some sort of injury early so we don't have to deal with this. He kills the production of the guys in the room. But I feel like he doesn't give you enough to really warrant a roster spot either.
Well, I wouldn't say he's useless. Wide receiver 29 last year.
That's great.
I mean, that's higher end.
Last year, he's another year older now. He's not a Bolt, he's a Colt. And
yeah, he had plenty of competition there, though.
Yeah, he did. But in this, if you look back at his last year, right, bunch of young guys and Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Trey Harris was there. I mean, decent.
81 for 777 and 4 touchdowns on 122 targets.
That's a lot of targets for him. However, I think this is more of a Tyler Warren hit than a Pierce or a Downs because of where Keenan Allen's probably going to operate, where he has most of his career. And that's a lot of Warren's area as well. So I think there's going to be some overlap there that actually hurts on Tyler Warren's value or production, I should say, which ultimately lead to a little bit of a value drop. But, this is a 1-year thing. So when you're talking about in Dynasty, I mean, how much time does Keenan Allen really have left?
Well, he has this year, that's for sure.
Right.
And so as long as he's out there this year, that matters for these guys. Yeah. Let me add Tyler Warren onto the page here too. We'll bring them all up. Take a look at their numbers.
And again, I do stress that I think it's a Tyler Warren hit more so than Downs or Pierce, simply for the area which they work. Now, Tyler Warren's still going to have his manufactured touches because he is so versatile. So you can bank on that. But I don't think he's going to get near the amount of targets that he was getting last year in that initial level, that first level past the line. I think Keenan's going to clean up a lot of stuff down there. That's what he does. He's great, man.
So you can see here, Tyler Warren.
Great possession receiver. That's what I was looking to say.
Yeah. 112 targets last year, his rookie season, 76 catches, 817 yards. Alec Pierce, who's been banged up all off season, he probably isn't. I don't know. Once he's playing, I don't know that his numbers really change, honestly.
Right.
Because he's just lining up as the X out there. And so he's going to get whatever targets Daniel Jones can get to him.
Pierce on the field is going to help Keenan Allen out significantly. So
for sure.
Yeah.
Or vice versa.
But
Keenan Allen being out there helps Alec Pierce.
Why don't you bring up Michael Pittman as well and look at his targets from last year and all of his stuff, because those are all vacated targets that we were pretty much dumping to the three Colts that we knew of at the time, right? So now we throw Keenan Allen into the mix. And, I wonder if it's not really a hit to their previous year's numbers so much.
Pittman had 111 targets, 80 catches.
Now, let's keep in mind, when Daniel Jones went down, this offense stopped throwing the ball as much as they were, right?
Well, this offense was a top 3 offense in the league before Daniel Jones went down.
Right. So I think, some of these targets are naturally going to go up anyway, but there's 111 targets out there that need to be made up. So I like I said, I don't think it's a huge hit to all the wide receivers. I think if anything, it's going to hit Warren and his some of the easier targets that he was getting last year.
Well, his yards per route run were actually higher than Pittman last season. Air yards were higher than Pittman last season. Now, of course, he was with the Chargers. And his ADOT was actually higher than I would have thought as well. His ADOT was 8.42, higher than Josh Downs. So if you use these numbers and correlate them, I don't know that really changes Tyler Warren's outlook. I think who it hurts most is Josh Downs and his ceiling. We were all pretty excited. Josh Downs had been moving up from, say, round 12 at the beginning of the offseason. Then Pittman gets dealt, and Josh Downs had been going as high as like the end of round 7 in startups.
See, I think that's a little high.
Into 8.
Anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean, the guy's young, 25 years old only. So when you match him up against others like, say, Christian Watson, right? Some people were just more in on Josh Downs. That's all. But yeah, Josh Downs, for me, from my perspective, like I liked getting him in the rounds 9 or 10. But depending on who's in your leagues and who's sharper or whatever you want to call him, I was or wasn't able to land Josh Downs. Now I'm a little pissed.
I get it. I mean, I think you're right. The ceiling is capped
right out there.
The ceiling's capped a little bit. But here's the thing of hope and why
I don't think that Tyler Warren gets hurt by this.
Well, I feel like Keenan Allen's going to get hurt at some point. I mean, he gets hurt every year, and
I mean hurt numbers wise. I think Tyler Warren is the guy. He's the number one, and number one. Not first look, because if you're running a play, a pass progression, Alec Pierce might be the first look because he's running downfield. But I don't know.
Target share. He's number one. I get it.
Yeah, I still like Warren. I'm not fading Warren because of this.
I'm not fading anybody because I just don't feel like Keenan is. I just don't think he's going to play the whole time. I just don't. I know it actually, but
yeah.
Here's the other. Yeah, this is an absolute great window though that opens for those who do panic on Downs or on Pierce or on Warren or whomever. It's an absolute opportunity to go buy at a slight discount or a bigger discount depending on who's trying to do what. But
especially Warren, I would think Warren would be the one I would actually. Anybody's panicking over Keenan Allen signing there and hurting Tyler Warren. Like Tyler Warren's going into his second year. I know he's older. He's 3 years older than Colston Loveland, same rookie year. But that's wild.
They're still young.
But, dude, Tyler Warren has the possibility of finishing like top 3 at tight end. So, I mean, I could see him outscoring Trey McBride as long as Daniel Jones is healthy. And that's the guy who actually gets the most benefit from here is Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Adding a veteran like Keenan Allen, just throwing him into this mix just helps him out immensely, in my opinion. So I think that Daniel Jones now becomes a little more like, you know, how last year we were kind of waiting. Mm-hmm. If you had Daniel Jones as your 4th or 5th quarterback hanging out there because you got him in the 17th or 18th round of the startup, you were just hanging on to him. I know I did. I know you did too, because you wanted to maximize that value. You had to wait until somebody would finally give you a first for him, right?
Yeah, and where I didn't have him and needed a third quarterback, or hell, just needed an upgrade at my QB2 in a super flex, like I tried to get him like after the first week or two. Like I saw 2 solid weeks, and I was just like, I need a solid quarterback. So I was able to get him a little bit less, but yeah, absolutely, man. I've sold Jones at peak value, and I still have a share or two, but you know he's a good piece. He's healthy in that offense. What we saw last year, there's no reason to feel bad about this at all.
All right, now. Keenan Allen wasn't the only vet to sign this offseason. Right before, a couple weeks prior, Stephon Diggs, most recently, Deebo Samuel as well. So now we've got these 3 dudes, right? Mm-hmm. Keenan Allen, the oldest, at 34 years old. Stephon Diggs at 32, and Deebo just at 30 years old. Deebo seems like an old man, but I mean, he was in the same class as AJ Brown and DK Metcalf.
Right.
He was an old, not only an old soul right away, but an old man out of that class. So
that's because he plays in San Fran, man.
Yeah, with what's going on in San Francisco and their wide receiver injuries
every year,
and then you've got Diggs basically as the number 2 alongside McLaurin in Washington. Who of these guys? Well, first of all, just say who of these guys let's just say in a redraft, because if you're grabbing these guys, you're playing them like redraft, right? Even if it's dynasty, you're just they're 1 year rentals. Who do you? Before we get into the cost, who do you like first and foremost?
If cost is off the board and it's just
cost off the board,
one of the 3.
They're all available. It's round 12.
I mean,
round 14.
I would probably go Stephon Diggs, and I know there's some uncertainty there in Washington. Diggs seems wherever he shows up, he just produces.
Right.
And
yeah, I'm definitely going Diggs.
Another known commodity at receiver, Terry McLaurin, and a capable quarterback. I see decent things for Diggs.
So we agree there.
I like Diggs.
Diggs is the best option of the 3. Now Deebo is somebody who last year still was able to produce. Like, I mean, he was back in wide receiver 2 quite a few weeks last year. Finished the year. Let's see his numbers here. 72 for Where's his yard total? Well, he was 188 points. Diggs was about 20 points ahead of him. Deebo was 6 points ahead of Keenan Allen. So not much different. Honestly, I'm shocked. Deebo was only that much ahead of Keenan Allen last season. He seemed like he had a lot bigger weeks, but then there you have the consistency with Keenan Allen, right? Like 10 points every week, pretty much. So I am excited about Deebo in that Niner. I mean, the Niners offense of the three, the Niners has the most potential.
Correct. I would have Deebo as my second choice for those reasons. I mean, it's not just from, and you could argue this with Keenan Allen for familiarity with the playbook and the play calling, but see, Deebo's got familiarity with that plus just the team and the whole coaching staff, right? So, and more importantly, with Brock Purdy. So I think that's got to count for something, even if he's lost a step or so. He knows where he's got to be when he's got to be there in that offense, and I think that's going to be super helpful. And I'd have him at my second choice here. Yeah,
Diggs just gets open. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
he could go to any team. He's just going to get open. So now when you look at cost, so Keenan Allen was I'm literally on waivers in some of my leagues. I have a couple of shares of him, and I've held on to him through this point. But they're like teams where maybe it's a 30-man roster and he's like the 31st or 32nd guy. Like I've still held on to him, waiting to make my final cuts.
Right.
And now I got to hang on. I got to hang on to him because he's playing.
That's fair.
Because I'm not going to trade. I don't even know if you're getting a fourth for Keenan Allen, right? You got to find the right guy in your league to give you a fourth. Stephon Diggs, you could still probably get a second for, and Deebo is probably worth a third, right? Do you think that's fair? Fair evaluation, straight up?
I mean, yeah, that's fair. I'd still have a hard time giving up a 27th third for Deebo.
27th third? Yeah, but a third. Remember, I mean, you know the hit rates on third rounders, Matt.
I know that, dude.
Yeah. Deebo,
I also know that a third rounder in 2027 is going to carry a lot more weight.
Yeah, I agree.
And doesn't clog up my roster. So
I agree. I would try and just push a
if I was in that situation, I'd just hold him and hope for the production.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm excited for all three of these guys, honestly, on any of my contending rosters. These are cheap ways to fill in. And, you know, if you're trying to score points right now, this is where you can dump on some of the hype, right? Like the guys that we'll get to in a minute here. Or at the very end, we're going to talk about the rookies that have been hot. But like, if you need points, this is where you sell Justin Jolie, Oscar Delp, Eli Raridan for a Stephon Diggs, right? Because Diggs would be the one that I'd want first out of these. You'd start there, at least. That's where I'd go. Deebo, it'd be. I mean, I could see it doing on the right team. On the right team, I could understand doing it. The problem I see is guys making that deal right now. I don't really necessarily want to make that deal right now. Like, I don't need Deebo Samuel in my starting lineup week 1. So why would I trade for him right now? A guy like Deebo Samuel that could miss 4 or 5 weeks in a row.
Right.
Because historically, he gets hurt every season, right?
Yep.
Whether it's usually like his hamstrings. And he's out for 3 or 4 weeks. So we don't know which 3 or 4 weeks those are going to be right now. So why trade for him right now? Wait till he's healthy. And
wait till you know what your team's doing.
And you actually need him. Yes.
Right.
Yes. So that's, I guess, the thought process here is don't get too overexcited about these guys.
Yeah.
Diggs is somebody, though, I could see you plugging into your lineup right away at least.
Yeah.
For me. Diggs, I think I feel like can still put up 12 plus fantasy points a week on average. He's going to get enough targets to do that.
Yeah.
I think. So.
Completely agree with that.
All right. Let's move on to Cleveland. Now, we talked Cleveland's quarterback situation. All right. Was that last week? I think it was just me. Cleveland's fun room.
It's an interesting, it is an interesting topic that quarterback, like more than likely Deshaun's going to start, but Shedeur clearly looks better. It's so weird, man.
So I'll tell you how intriguing it's become, Matt. This is how intriguing it's become. I actually just drafted my first Shedeur Sanders share.
It's awesome. That's awesome.
Round 19.
That is amazing, dude.
It's still hanging out there. So I had to do it. Actually, I think it was it 17 or 18? Regardless, it was deep enough. Like Deshaun Watson had already been picked. And so we're at the point in the offseason here where guys are just picking, even in a startup, they're just picking the guy who actually is playing, or is heavily rumored to be the starter right now is Watson. Yeah. So not only that, Matt, but I got a stack with Shedeur and Denzel Boston. Like, how exciting is that?
Nice.
That's Denzel Boston, one of the high risers this training camp season here. Some people are excited for him even more so than his fellow rookie, Casey Concepcion. Now, I don't know if I'm buying into that because I just feel like the role for Concepcion is just so much. Yeah. Like every play, he's going to be looked at. He's going to get manufactured touches. Here we go. Here's our quad set of.
I agree with you on that one. I think the reason the hype has shifted more to Boston, so to speak, than Concepcion is when they first showed up in Cleveland and started running drills and stuff, Concepcion was struggling with some drops, and that's about it. And I think that's the only reason for it. I personally, I'll take either one. They're cheaper than Fannin, and I think they're both fantastic. I do. Jerry.
Yeah. So this brings up.
Judy's going to be odd man looking out or looking in.
Yeah, and this ties into our Tyler Warren talk, right, with the Colts, because Warren and Fannin, at least for a lot of people, they're ranked pretty similarly, right? Some people love Fannin and have him right there as the 4th or 5th dynasty tight end. Right. I like Fannin. I drafted him last year and got him, but that's because of the price tag. I mean, the price tag between Fannin and Warren was a
massive
two round difference last season. Now, yes, it might only be a 2-round difference, but you're talking a 4th rounder versus a 6th rounder, or even a 3rd. Warren sometimes in the 3rd. Then you're taking Fannin in the 4th or 5th round in a high tight end premium type league, right? I just don't know that the ceiling is there that I want for a Harold Fannin. Being on the Browns, being on a team that's not projected to have many touchdowns this season, right? If you look at the Vegas numbers for projected touchdowns for teams, the Browns are in the bottom 5. Yeah. So they're not exactly an offense. And it's the same argument I struggle with drafting Quinshon Judkins in that same range in the 4th, 5th, 6th rounds. Like, there's so many other running backs on better teams, and I get it that Judkins is young and he's a good between the tackles guy. Some people like him, like Nick Chubb, but the Browns' offense just isn't there yet, and I don't really truly trust Watson or Shedeur to necessarily get them there this year. That said, Todd Monken is running the show, and so. If you've followed Todd Monken's journey, you know there's one thing he likes to do, and that is throw the football. Mm-hmm. So that bodes well for really all four of these guys. I don't know where you're at on Jerry Jeudy. He's basically free. And I think for Judy's sake, he's best getting traded somewhere else to get out of here. But Denzel Boston, I think, just got he got a little stink thrown on him during the draft process as a whole because he fell to the second round and Concepcion got drafted there as well. Like if Boston went somewhere else where a different where no rookie receiver was drafted, like let's say he went to say the Titans drafted somebody else in the first round and then Boston went to the Titans at the top of the second round. Well, he'd be looked at a lot differently.
Correct.
Right. As the only rookie coming into camp in Tennessee versus what he's looked at going to Cleveland. And so now that he's gone into camp and actually showed up and started playing well, now the hype is building. Even in redraft, people are gravitating towards him in like rounds 11, 12-ish. Yep. So here, do you did you get much Concepcion or Boston in your rookie drafts?
I got it in rookie drafts. Not a lot based on where I was picking. Now that being said, in startup drafts, I got a couple of shares, and then I actually got Denzel Boston thrown into a trade I made in a league that I am not playing for this year. And I got Boston thrown into a deal moving off some older players, and I'm super excited about that one. It's not easy giving up production and accepting that fact, but getting Denzel Boston thrown into that deal with some picks and stuff, I now as we've gone through the process with rookie camp, mini camp, and now we're in the preseason, pretty excited about that deal.
Sure. All right, well, let's play a little game.
Happy for the ones I do.
We'll play a little game with Harold Fannin, all right? So Harold Fannin or Tucker Kraft?
Ooh, that's a tough one right out the gates.
Hey, I wasn't giving you any layups here
after that injury, but he is like the guy there for the most part. That's a tough call. I'll probably take Kraft. Cost less.
All right, I'll tell you where I'm at Kraft for sure. So before the injury last season, Kraft was averaging over 16 a game as a difference maker at the position, right? A top 4 average per game. Fannin, as good as his rookie season was, finishing, 72 for 731 and 6. He played all his games, or 16 games he played. He only averaged
like 3 different quarterbacks, though. Keep that in mind.
Right. He only averaged just under 12 a game. I guess it depends on which type of premium your league is, but that's my point. Like, there's 4 points in difference. That's a huge difference. Like, Fannin just fits into the mix, right? Even with that good season, Kraft is a top 5 guy, and I don't. Again, with Fannin, I just don't know if I see him jumping into that tier. What about versus
and Kraft? You get him for like half the price of Fannin.
Harold Fannin versus Laporta.
Fannin.
Harold Fannin versus Kyle Pitts.
Give me Pitts.
Pitts in Dynasty and redraft, or Pitts in just
both?
Redraft? In both? Do you like Pitts over? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm the same, actually. Pitts is young enough. Pitts is still only...
He's young enough, and now he's got Harold Fannin's old coach in Kevin Stefanski, who loves to get the ball to tight ends. So
Correct. So, yeah, that's... So, Harold Fannin definitely not really gaining steam, I guess, in our eyes, is how I would put it, right?
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring up another signee this week. Just happened. We're all excited for Najee Harris. Oh, yeah. So Najee rolls into the Big Apple to mess with our Cam Scadaboo and Tyron Tracy shares. So what are you thinking Najee coming to town does, if anything, to these two guys' outlooks?
Dude, I think he's there for depth, or God forbid Cam Scadaboo go down again. I don't think this hurts either one of their what we all thought was going to happen, right? Cam Scadaboo on 1 and 2, Tyrone Tracy and obvious passing downs or situational type things. I think Najee is simply a depth piece. I don't think there's anything to this. Not if you own Scadaboo or Tracy. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm still not sure yet.
I can't see how Najee Harris takes away touches from either one of these guys without an injury. Maybe he comes in for like a series or something to give Cam a breather, but I just don't see it as like.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. I mean, here's the thing. I have not been a big Scadaboo guy. I just didn't buy into the hype last year. And, that was probably the wrong. I mean, I did get a couple of shares in rookie drafts because I had enough picks that I was able to get him in a couple. One league I traded him away. But point being, I'm still a little leery with the injury. I haven't bought into where you have to draft him as far as startups are going this off season and now redraft. There's too many other people in the league. Like Scadaboo is a polarizing guy, right? He's a polarizing asset. Half your league's in on him, half your league's out on him. So I don't necessarily love drafting those kind of guys because if you want to end up trading them, you've already dwindled your trade pool in half, right? Because somebody in your league, you could make an offer where you're losing the deal, quote unquote, but they still won't want him just because they're not in on him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so Najee, for me, I don't know that he steals touchdowns, too many touchdowns, but he might take a couple here and there. And he definitely hurts Tyron Tracy's ceiling if Scadaboo were to go down. I mean, Tyron Tracy put up over 1,000 yards last season, all-purpose yards.
Right.
Right. So that's where I see him hurting Tracy's value, I guess. I think that you're right in that Scadaboo and Tracy probably have their roles set, and he's just a depth piece. I don't know if they're just that out on Devin Singletary that they feel Najee is just boom better. But Najee Harris is, he's a toolsy guy, right? Like he could have gone pretty much into any locker room and fit into the running back room. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't have the one profile. Like he's not just a goal line back. He's not just a third down running back. He can do either. Not very well, but
I still look at him as like a short yardage guy at this stage of his career, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So he's taken some unfortunate injuries, and he's never really been much of an explosive running back in the league. College was a little bit different story, but in the league, he's more of a, I don't know, he just kind of, he's a 2-3 yard guy. I don't know. He's just a short distance guy, man, to me. But again, I've never been in on Najee Harris, ever. Even in his best productive days as a Steeler.
Well, yeah, when he was producing as a Steeler, he had that huge rookie season, right, where he had just a lot of catches. And that propped him up on volume. And he's never been able to improve upon that, really. Like his ceiling was that off season after his first year, or even before his first year, if you want to count that, where in some of the leagues he was going as the second overall pick in that draft in rookie drafts. That was the Trevor Lawrence, Jamar Chase, Kyle Pitts draft, and Najee went ahead of Jamar Chase and Pitts in some drafts, which I didn't buy into, but some people did. They wanted the running back. I get it. You know what I mean? But now look at that draft, and you had Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, and Javonte Williams, and look at where we're at with those 3 running backs right now, right?
Just Etienne, in reverse order.
Etienne and Javonte just got contract extensions or signed with a new team there with the Etienne's case. And they're set for the next 3 years, while Najee is just out there picking up the scraps.
Yep,
so you can see
living,
it. Yeah.
Living now, check to
the
check.
Injuries fall right for Najee. I don't say he's not somebody that I would just leave hanging out on waivers. There's probably some guys on the bottom of your roster that are worse to own than not.
Correct.
All right. Now we'll finish off with the hottest guys in camp. And those are the rookie wide receivers making hay. We'll start with Deshaun Stribling. We already talked about Deebo in San Francisco. Stribling, though, has been the real story, with Mike Evans being out with his hamstring issues that just keep reoccurring, and Stribling being the 33rd or 34th overall pick, majorly overdrafted in most people's eyes. I know there were a few people that had him as like a late second, but most people had him as a 3rd round or 4th round prospect out of Ole Miss. And he was a guy who rose based on his college playoff performance, and we've seen that before fail, right?
Yeah.
Not that Matthew Golden has already completely failed us, but well, not me. I don't own any Matthew Golden, but
after 1 year, he's completely failed.
Stribling. My point is, Stribling had sort of a similar rise, like Matthew Golden.
Yeah.
And but the Niners are totally in on him. He's getting plenty of work. He got work in the first preseason game, like 5 catches for 60-some yards. It was against the Titans' first-string defense. Okay. So there's some legitimate, like, flashes here. And not just flashes. Like, he's getting work in camp. They were moving him around. He wasn't just lined up as one, either the X or the Y or the Z. They were moving him around. So I don't know. The Niners seem like they really like this dude. And when you've got 2 old guys like Evans and Deebo that are very injury prone, you've already got Ricky Pearsall out for the season. George Kittle's not young either. I don't know. I mean, you got to kind of you got to really buy into him now.
Look, man, you got to take risks at some point, right? In Dynasty, you can try to like mitigate that risk as best you can, but at some point you do have to jump off. Sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong. Like last year, I took some risks with some Gadsden shares. Well, that would freaking pay dividends, But I also took like a lot of Caleb Johnson shares too. Well, that one was crap last year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 1 year, but either which way, you mentioned Matthew Golden. There's one for you that doesn't work out. But, he's situationally, though, you got to love the spot he's in, right? They go and sign a super old guy who's injury prone. Twice. They did it twice with Evans and Deebo.
Right.
Pearsall's out for the year. Like you mentioned, Kittle's got his issues and he's older. So he's situationally, he's in a great spot to just
right.
Get
the only
starts.
other guy they've got there is DeMarcus Robinson. I know Robinson's savvy enough as a veteran to get his
but he's not a guy. He's not a guy that has a ceiling and a future where you're like, this guy could actually take advantage of this and be something, right?
Yeah,
Stribling has that opportunity. So I think that's kind of a good formula for like a good risk to take on a young guy,
Yeah. Now the question is just how high, right?
Right.
He's getting
and that's
so
for all 3 of
hyped
these guys, to be honest, right? Situationally, it's really good.
But really Stribling had the highest draft capital of these three here. Correct. So Stribling is the one who, if you did draft him like in your rookie draft and you drafted him like late second, I mean, you're not getting rid of him now unless somebody's giving you a first. I don't know anybody that's given up a first for DeJon Stribling right now.
Not me. But getting him worked into a trade, sure.
Yes, that would be the way to go about acquiring him now if you wanted him. Is maybe down tiering from down tiering at running back, right? From I don't know, say Saquon to Josh Jacobs and DeJon Stribling, right? That's a way you could go about getting similar production possibly and adding in DeJon Stribling. So I could see that. And with either of these other two guys, Cyrus Allen showing up in Kansas City, Rashee Rice rehabbing in jail his knee and now coming out. And I mean, he makes the Chiefs defensive backs look good every day in practice.
Yeah.
Right. But that's Rashee Rice's game. Like, I'm not watching. If I see a highlight from Chiefs camp, I'm not expecting to see Rashee Rice smoke a defensive back and create 5 yards of separation. That's not his game. His game is just back shoulder catches and then breaking a tackle and picking up yak.
Yeah. And manufactured touches inside the red zone. Yeah.
Right. I mean, Rashee Rice is just another tight end, essentially.
Yeah. He's a good gadget guy, in a sense. Sure-handed gadget. So
what Cyrus Allen can do is really hinder Xavier Worthy's ceiling, in my opinion. Like, Xavier Worthy is not impressed ever since the last couple of weeks of his rookie season, where he did get, I think, the last 3 or 4 games, he averaged around 20 a game. He was really hot that last month of his rookie season, but all of last season, they could not get him going. He had that shoulder injury that he suffered right at the beginning of the first week of the season, and he never recovered from that. And so Cyrus Allen has looked every bit of the part in camp. He's outplayed Jalen Royals, and Tyquan Thornton's now banged up. So Cyrus Allen,
it's like I said when we were talking about Stribling, all of these guys are in this really kind of unique but good situation right now. I'll skip on over and start with Caleb Douglas here. There's a lot of guys. There's no one there. There is literally no one there of really any stature, right, that we know will produce. So it's wide open there in Miami. So there's a lot of good chances you can take. Caleb Douglas has got the most recent highlight, but it's
and he's got the build. He's
receivers here and not be long for doing it.
He can get a little separation, but he has the ability to make the contested catches. Versus the other rookie that they grabbed, I can't think, Kevin Coleman, and then Malik Washington, the incumbent. But then, I mean, Douglas has outperformed all of them.
Well, the other thing too is
Colbert they brought in, all these guys that they've brought in.
Half a foot taller than both of those guys we just mentioned.
Yeah.
Some of the other guys that have some really good speed and skills, they're really undersized, which isn't the end of the world, but Douglas meets the physical measurements that you look for. And like when it comes to young receivers like that, if I'm going to miss, I'm going to miss on the big guy. I'm not going to miss on the little guy.
Sure.
That doesn't always pan out well, but as a good rule of thumb, the bigger guys usually the ones that are going to stick because they can take the hits. 1, 2, they just have better separation when you go vertical. So, yeah.
The other thing, I mean, you look at these guys' age. Stribling's 24, Cyrus Allen 24, Caleb Douglas 23. These guys all have a lot of experience. Right. Say what you want, that it's bad that they're not coming out as they weren't
But
early
they're ready.
players.
They're more ready.
They're actually more pro ready. Yes, exactly. So I think that's part of their success in camp as well right now. So yeah, Caleb Douglas and Cyrus Allen, I just drafted actually I think it was rounds 16 and 17 that I'm in startup on right now. So both of them though, they're gonna cost you something now. You're a little late to the party, I think, at this point. But if you have a weak wide receiver room, they're not terrible dart throws in redraft at the end of your drafts. So it's where I would say I'm at on those three guys. Because Caleb Douglas, for me, Malik Willis is the quarterback, right? Now we're speaking strictly from fantasy terms. The situation there reminds me so much of Justin Fields in Chicago a couple of years ago, right? Where he had Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet as his top options. Now we're looking at Malik Washington and Greg Dulcich as Malik Willis's top options, right? Well, who's to say that it isn't Caleb Douglas, actually, because I think that he fits Malik Willis's game more, where he's going to be his home run threat. He's just going to throw it up to him.
On a scramble, breaking the pocket, on the run,
right.
Just hit it deep.
Or if he's just got one-on-one coverage on a shorter corner, something like that, he'll throw it up to him. I mean,
50-50 ball.
It's just we had such a small sample size of Malik Willis last season, and it was with the Packers offense, who had much more talent in the wide receiver room than the Dolphins do. So the point being, though, at the end of the day, Malik Willis is still going to have to run a lot. Okay. And Justin Fields was able to finish as a top 10 quarterback for that Bears putrid offense because he had to run.
Right.
And so I'm actually kind of turning the corner on my thought on Malik Willis in relation to where he goes in drafts and,
versus the production you could be getting. Yeah.
Versus the production that you could actually get for, who knows? He did sign a 2-year contract, or maybe it was 3. I don't know. I think it's really only 2, but yeah, I think it's 2. But he could be the quarterback for 2 years. Who knows?
He could get extended midway through the season if everything goes right.
Sure, if everything's going well. And if it's not, they'll draft their future quarterback this next offseason.
Yeah.
Anyway, anybody else you want to throw out there, Matt, that you've seen what's going on in Houston?
Well, Higgins took an injury, and of course, I rejected a trade in Birdhouse 3. Someone was offering me, I don't know, an old veteran receiver for Jaden Higgins. I was like, no. It's not a bad offer. Higgins is going to be a production piece for me, and I'm not trading him. Plus, I like Jaden Higgins. I think he's got a bright future. So then I get a text that says, you should have traded him. He's hurt. Okay.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, see, Stribling, that's where I see him being able to fit in stats-wise, probably, end of the day. That'd be a realistic projection, is what Jaden Higgins did last season for Houston. Right now, the Niners offense is definitely more efficient than the Texans has been over the last couple of years. So you'd see maybe 1 or 2 more touchdowns for Stribling in that case. But in the end, it really comes down to how healthy Mike Evans and Deebo Samuel are able to stay this year. And that's really going to be what Stribling's final numbers ride on, is how healthy those 2 guys are. Because if those 2 guys are healthy, they're going to be on the field. You know what I mean?
Well, and look, I'll tell you this. Evans is going to be in and out of that starting lineup.
Yeah.
In San Francisco with his already known soft tissue issues.
Right.
Oh, that's fun. Soft tissue issues. I just see him in and out. Deebo, same type of deal. I just feel like Deebo's not going to get injured as often, or if he does get hurt, I just think he's tougher than Mike Evans. To be honest,
Sure.
I think he can play through more.
No, don't say that. Mike Evans is pretty tough.
Okay, that's fine.
They're legitimate.
because he can fight with Lattimore. Yeah, he's tough.
Yeah, when he comes out of games,
Deebo's not as long,
legitimate.
and so I just don't feel like his injuries are as long term. I just don't think he's going to be out as much as Evans. Okay,
you don't get 10 or 11,000 yard seasons without staying tough. There were games he played.
I didn't say when tough. I just felt like Deebo was tougher. It's not a slight on Mike Evans.
Deebo looks tougher on the field. Deebo looks tougher on the field because he breaks tackles, and that's how he gets his production. Mike Evans gets his production by fighting off defenders to make the catch,
right?
And then limited yak afterward. Mike Evans does not get a lot of yards after catches.
That's fine. They're different receivers.
Yes, they're totally different receivers.
Yeah.
Yes. I still think I think they're both tough.
We'll have a semantic show.
Yeah. I just hope I want to see, like, I like to see greatness, right? And I don't want to see them. And I'm not a Niners fan. And I hope that Tampa gets a chance to beat them in the playoffs because they stole our franchise guy in Evans. But I don't want to see the Niners season just lost because all of their old guys are hurt. That's no fun. Yeah. It's going to be a fun division. I mean, look at it. You got Seattle, the Niners, and the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
Those are some really good games out there. I mean, healthy, if they're all healthy, the Niners, they're a top 5 team in the league. Just like the Rams and the Seahawks.
Yep.
For my money, they're all 3 of those are like top 5 teams in the league. So we'll see how it pans out.
Season. That's what I
Hopefully those guys get healthy. Hopefully the Chargers for my Omarion Hampton and Justin Herbert shares find a center.
Yeah.
Their center went down yesterday, so it seems like it's already starting over their troubles from last season with the line. But this time it happened early enough, maybe they're able to sign someone or make the proper adjustment.
Yeah, man, I hope so.
With what they have in-house currently. All right. So for that's our training camp battles week 4 update for you. Next week, we will get into a trade show for you. I know you've been all waiting for that, and so have we. So we're excited to do that next week for you. But for Matt English, we want to remind you that it's been fun. Remember to never stop working.
Come on.